Russian President Vladimir Putin has declared martial law in 4 annexed regions of Ukraine. A Russia-installed local leader says tens of thousands of civilians and Russian-appointed officials are being moved out of Ukraine's southern Kherson region ahead of a Ukrainian offensive. And we'll have details in this report.
The new Russian commander, Sergei Surovikin, says the situation is tense for his forces in Ukraine, especially around Kherson. Residents of occupied Kherson have started to flee. Moscow-backed officials say up to 60,000 people are to be evacuated. Ukraine's military says it shot down 13 Iranian-made drones used by Russia over the Mykolaiv region overnight, and parts of the country woke up today to power and water shortages caused by Russian attacks on infrastructure. Meanwhile, the United Nations Commission says it has found Russian forces were responsible for the vast majority of human rights violations in the early weeks of the war. According to a report released on Tuesday, the Independent International Commission of Inquiry on Ukraine found that Russian forces had indiscriminately targeted areas they were trying to capture and attacked civilians trying to flee. The Commission also found abuses committed by Ukraine, including 2 cases of people who were shot. Meanwhile, the European Union President Ursula von der Leyen says missile and drone attacks on power stations and other infrastructure are acts of pure terror that amount to war crimes. Ms. von der Leyen said in a speech to lawmakers in the European Parliament, quote, "Yesterday, we saw again Russia's targeted attacks against civilian infrastructure. This is marking another chapter in an already very cruel war. The international order is very clear. These are war crimes, targeted attacks on civilian infrastructure with the clear aim of cutting off men, women, children from water, electricity, and heating systems with the winter coming. These are acts of pure terror, and we have to call it such." End quote. On the flip side, intelligence sources say Iran has sent military personnel to Russian-occupied territory inside Crimea to train and advise the Russian military on the use of Iranian-built drones that Moscow has been using to devastate Ukraine. Russia has launched several attacks against Ukraine with its Iranian-made drones from Crimea, targeting Ukrainian cities and energy infrastructure in increasing numbers in recent weeks. Meanwhile, the Greek Foreign Minister, Nikos Dendias, visited Kyiv and saw the aftermath of recent attacks on the capital. He condemned them. These Ukrainian policemen witnessed the drone attacks. Meanwhile, 108 Ukrainian women have been released from Russian captivity. They include soldiers and civilians.